Hi there, and welcome to the Modern Musician Survival Guide podcast. Today we're talking about career strategy. Now, what is career strategy? In my view, career strategy starts with a clear vision and an honest look on what you believe your career should look like. So to start to have a better idea of what's the career that we want, try to imagine yourself in 10 years' time. If it helps, you can take a notebook or a sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil and try to imagine what a typical day or a typical week of your life would look like in 10 years' time when you have the life that you desire. You can write it down and try to be as specific as possible. Where you wake up, where you live, what do you do after you wake up, what's the kind of responsibilities and activities during your day that you're doing. And also at the same time, try to engage more the senses that you have. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? It's actually one of those exercises that Bernhard Kerris did during the Be Your Own Manager course during the pandemic. And I remember it being quite fascinating and useful, imagining where I would see myself in 10 years, quote unquote, I made it, and what does that actually look like? After you've imagined and seen your life in 10 years' time, when you have the career that you want, the next step is ask yourself, how did you get there? What actions did you take? What steps did you take to get there? So let's say now is 2026, imagine yourself in 2036 and go backwards. It would be basically reverse engineering your entire career trajectory to get in 2036 exactly where you want to be. If it helps, write it down. What steps did you undertake? What happened? What concerts did you do? What collaborations did you do? What countries maybe you changed? Trace that back from 2036 to 2026. And from that, just like in the goals episode, what you can do is break down into smaller actionable steps that you would need to do yearly, monthly, weekly, and maybe daily in order for that life in 2036 to happen. I really do believe that a career path and the career strategy starts with clarity and honesty and telling not the world, telling ourselves what it is that we want and what does success look to us. Not what we see on Instagram, not what we see on TikTok, not what the larger community wants us to think. What do we see ourselves as successful in 10 years' time? This is a very short episode, but I think it's one of the stepping stones towards different other topics on this podcast. And I really encourage you to take your time and think it through, not too much. Just imagine a life that you desire and the path towards that life. And I will leave you with a question at the end of this episode. Try to answer this question for yourself. What would I start today to be where I want to be in 10 years' time? Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, and comment this episode. Subscribe to the podcast and send in questions or topics that you would like to hear about on the next episode. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next episode.